Hi, Sag, and welcome to your April 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky, coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. Thank you so much for being here, Sag. I hope you're enjoying the voyage that you're on, the changes that are happening in your life, the change of mind perhaps that you're having here, the results of certain impulses, and the zooming out I feel that you're also doing in your own experience. April's going to be a really big month for you, especially the Aries season part of it. We are still in all planets direct. There are no retrogrades. We have an eclipse at the end of the month. We have your home ruling planet of Jupiter conjoining Neptune in Pisces. So it looks like a major dream shift for you and a major new beginning likely that you will be having. It also is very much like Atlas, okay? Like I feel like you're having to carry a lot of stuff. Interestingly, Two of Wands has a similar symbolism, doesn't it? And the Ace of Pentacles and the Fool and Two of Pentacles all have kind of an Atlas-like symbolism where they're holding something up or they're carrying some type of symbolism that revolves or relates to the world. I feel like you're having to carry a lot of weight, so I just want to prepare you for that intuitively before we go into the tarot portion. It looks weighty, okay, and the Fool is kind of coming in at the beginning of the month, kind of recommending or showing you how things could be lighter or easier. I think you already know how you need to adjust or how you need to lighten your load in some way. And this is a good time to do it, actually. Like, you actually don't have to go the rest of the year doing some of this difficult, heavy stuff, but some of you will, and will probably wait until like 2023 to really lighten down. But that is oncoming, and I want to prepare you all for that. The lightening eventually has to happen, or there has to be a easier, lighter experience for your sign eventually. And it's good to know that that is coming, whether it's coming like this month or, the summertime or, next year. Like it's coming and it's wanting to come. Okay. It's wanting to be lighter for you. You're going to also be given more this month, I think. I think that your business might do better. You might also get more than you expect for like a payment or more than you expect. Also in accolades or kindness from other people. That will be nice. And ultimately, I feel for you that you don't have to worry that much. You don't have to like really be afraid or be fearful about anything. You don't have to worry about this weight that you're carrying, but it is there. It is there. I just kind of feel something kind of weighty, and it's like maybe it's choosing not to face something. Maybe it's compensating for other people. Maybe it's doing other people's work. Maybe it's being averse to having free time or averse to not having filled space in some way. There's something like I have to take on more, or I have to max out my hours at the office. I have to work overtime if I can. Again, it's reminding me of when Jupiter was in Capricorn. It's reminding me of 2020, and that's kind of worrying me a little bit, Sagittarius, that you're still there because Jupiter is in its home sign of Pisces now, its traditional home sign. And things don't have to be like that for you, okay? You don't have to go so crazy. You don't have to put yourself through so much. But again, it's almost like a repetitive, difficult muscle memory that comes up. Sometimes we get into those habits of overworking or those habits of pushing as hard as we can in some type of security-focused way. And gosh, I hope that you don't have to go a full another year of doing that, but certainly no longer than that for sure. Other intuitive messages for you on the lighter side of things: new beginnings, new relationships, new networks, new honors. I feel that you could be being honored this month, and I feel that you could be also getting a better world understanding or doing something kind of diplomatic or doing something worldly as well. But it's kind of like, if you notice the pattern going from those first 2 weeks and then the second 2 weeks, it's like you feel very sure in this new beginning. You feel like you want to do it. You feel like you're ready to move on. But then there's this kind of like second guessing with the Two of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. That combination means second guessing in the tarot, or there's some type of like, but I kind of like the comfort and safety of what I already know. Okay. So that battle is still here. And I kind of feel like you might be worried about competition, or you might be worried about the new beginning and having to be competitive in a different way with Five of Swords and the Fool coming up. So if you can overcome this fear of competition, or if you can overcome this fear of new beginnings, and just kind of allow yourself to start transitioning into this lighter space, I think it will work wonders for you. You know, really starting to transition away from that Jupiter and Capricorn 2020 vibe of like pushing yourself so hard and having to be so laborious and menial with things, because you would probably be starting to see some wear and tear by now, okay, in 2022, if you were continuing on with that overdone, overbearing, overextended wavelength that came in for your sign in 2020. You would start to see some wear and tear. You would see like your body wasn't liking it. You might even see like whatever part of your body you're having to use to do the work could be having some stress injuries now. It's like the energy of a stress injury here. So we want to really do whatever we can, Sag. You know, you don't have any tower. You don't have any like Ten of Swords. You don't have anything crazy like that. But this is just an intuitive message. This is less about the tarot. And I'm just feeling this for your sign, that you want to do whatever you can to manage stress well in April, and whatever you can do to lighten things up. And sometimes we even have to walk things back, or we have to pull out of something. Sometimes, not all the time. That's not going to be the right thing for every Sagittarius. But if you're losing sleep over it, if you're not able to do it well, I think that it's an option, but you might consider, and what I think is the most viable way forward, if you are facing some type of like overworking tendency, or something like a too cluttered schedule, or something that's demanding too much of you, I think it needs to be phased out over time. I don't think that you need to do anything harsh right now. You have all the authority to do whatever the heck you want, but I just hate this feeling for Sagittarius where it's like, I have to do this to get by, or I have to put myself through this in order to be okay. You don't have to do anything. As a Sagittarius, like, you're one of the most kind of like freest, most autonomous signs of the zodiac, and things work out for your sign. Here's the thing, like financially, in a lot of ways, if you have a lot of Sagittarius in your chart, it'll work out no matter what. You really don't have to try so hard. It's sporadically, it's good. It's like sexy on a Sagittarius to see them really like trying and really like putting in the effort. But sporadically, okay, you're not a Virgo, you're not a Capricorn, you're not you're not a Cancer either. All those signs that deal with methodicalism, being methodical, diligence, security, consistency, those are not Sagittarian principles, unless we create like a dogmatic kind of philosophy that revolves around doing those things, in which case it does become Sagittarian. I think that's what a lot of you have done ever since Jupiter and Capricorn. And some of those wounds need to start healing. Like, what happened to you in 2020? What happened to you in like February 2020? Even like April 2020? And the things that you instituted during that time, I don't feel are evocative of like the kind of laissez-faire, like ease that a Sagittarius should experience in their life. I find them to be too like Saturnian or constructual in a way that is not really using the benefits that you naturally have, or not really playing up your strengths as much. So there might be many Sages listening to this who have already overcome that, and congratulations if you have. But I'm just seeing in this reading the way that it kind of transitions, and the way that we move from that wonderful Fool, Ace of Pentacles, Two of Wands energy, which is exactly where you should be right now, to this like Two of Pentacles, Two of Swords. It's kind of it's not really what I want to see for Sages. I want to see like strength in this process, or I want to see like assuredness or luck that you feel as a result of these new beginnings and these new opportunities, as opposed to not understanding how they work, or them bringing up like cans of worms and things like that. Final intuitive message for you, Sag, in April is your effort is commendable. Like, there is still, nonetheless, even if you are being Atlas, even if you are doing way more than is humanly possible, it will reward you. Okay, it might reward you with some kind of stress injury too, which would be a reward because it would force your hand. It would make you have to pull back a little bit. It might then also reward you with money or esteem, or, people could be like, wow, look at that Sagittarius, like undertaking all of that. That's an incredible entrepreneur. That's an incredible business person. That's an incredible scholar. That's an incredible, politician. I don't know. Like it's all kind of feeding in to work out in your favor in the end. But I do recommend, actually by the end of April, but for some of you, it's not going to come through until July. Actually, I'm feeling, I recommend you understanding how your current regime or your current regimen does phase out or become lighter over time. That's really the moral of this month and this general year, I would even say, for you. Okay, let's talk about your week to week, Sag. Week number 1, you have the 6 of Swords rooted down by the Fool. Changes. Okay, new identity qualifiers for some of you, like new even religions, or maybe some of you are looking into new belief systems or new emotional healing systems as well. And I think a lot of this overworking tendency, or a lot of this laborious energy that I felt for Sagittarius since the end of 2019, that has to do with these like belief systems, right? Like it's like Protestant work ethic, maybe you need to look more into like a Buddhist abundance beliefs, or the way in which through like resting into being present in the moment can actually generate more power and abundance for you than like working frivolously can. A lot of Sages have already, are super learned in different religions and different beliefs and how those have affected certain systems in humanity. But I would recommend getting out of your comfort zone there, or looking into different beliefs. So this might be the best way to overcome some of the stuff you're going through right now, is to kind of divest some of the dogma from your current like super labor-oriented situation, and see it from a new perspective. And I understand things for a lot of people can't just change with the snap of the finger, but maybe it could for you in the first week of April to some degree, even if it's only in belief and not so much in like action. I also think for some of you, you're getting an emotional new beginning. So you've had a breakup, okay, or a friendship end. That's been hard for me to see for Sag, but it has happened for many of them over this all planets direct, not just for your sign, but for everyone. It's like everyone has kind of had to reassess their relationships and their energy commitments. And a lot of us have had to quit jobs, quit relationships, and it takes coping. 6 of Swords is like going our separate ways or starting a new relationship with weird emotional motivation. So that could be happening for you in the first week too. I love seeing the Fool for you, Sag. I love that light rucksack that the Fool has and the flower in the hand, and they're not that concerned about things. I would really sit with the Fool if I were you, and think about how you could embrace that a little bit more. Week number 2, 3 of Cups rooted down by 2 of Wands. People love the new stuff you're doing. Okay, people love, and that's kind of really healing to hear, isn't it? It's like these new ideas are what people love. Even refreshing things or updating things, like it can be hard for other people to wrap their heads around how we sometimes change, but people love it at the same time. Like you're honestly good. I don't see any need for insecurity, and I'm not really understanding where this energy that I'm feeling, where it's like they're just working so hard, they're pushing themselves so hard, they're not willing to have an easy time of it. Like this should be easier, okay? People support you. People love what you're doing. People want to see you happy. People want to see you controlling your own destiny to what degree a human can. But people don't want to see you like beholden to other people, is what I'm trying to say. People want to see you taking your talent to the next level. And they want to see you desiring expansion and not just fitting some type of construct, okay? Or not just, running someone else's company or working that shift, okay? And this, I'm not trying to stoke you guys to like make some crazy sudden change that doesn't make sense. There are times in our lives, I talk about this a lot on my channel, where we have to do that. We have to fit into those constructs. But eventually we want to be getting to a place where it's all about what we love to do. And that's what people want for you, Sag. So I don't get like the need to stay in places that you don't want to be anymore. Okay. Certainly in like the long term. So let's kind of stretch this out a little bit. We have to make ends meet sometimes, but like, please do not be setting yourself up to stay 5 more years where you don't want to be. Okay. I'm seeing anything above like the midway 2023 cycle, like when we have this next nodal paradigm shift, July, I believe, of 2023. You've got to make a change by then if you don't want to stay where you're at for a really long time. Okay. Week number 3, you've got 5 of Swords rooted down by Ace of Pentacles. Yes. The money focus, Ace of Pentacles, money, 2 of Pentacles as well. What do I do for money? Decisions. It's not really what your sign is actually about. Like, it should just come naturally. You shouldn't have to try to wield it so much or be so deliberate about it. It's always better for Sag to let it come to you instead of trying to grab at it, okay, when we're talking money for a Sagittarius. And I'm kind of feeling like a grabbing kind of energy. And this is, again, Jupiter and Capricorn vibes. It's like I've got to try so hard. It's this dogma of effort, it's this Protestant work ethic. Not always a bad thing, needed to understand by everybody to some degree. And we all need to know how to be diligent and work hard. But for you, I don't recommend it now. You're kind of, the Sagittarius energy line, I feel, is like being pulled down to like the Virgo level here. And you sacrifice the lessons then of like Libra and Scorpio, when you do that, which is about balance and legality and also power, personal power. Sagittarius has learned a lot since Virgo, hasn't it? So try your best to be a Sagittarius and not worry so much about where stuff is coming from, but rather trust and sort of create a new philosophy perhaps around the idea that it's going to come or it's going to be right for you, okay? And that, I'm learning a lot just vicariously through you, Sag. Like, I think it's why Sagittarius can be an incredible business owner. I think it's why Sagittarius is like the sign of entrepreneurism. It's the sign of also law and politics and academia. Anything that relates to success in some type of hierarchy. It's because at a deep level as a Sagittarius, and I'm hoping that you haven't forgotten this, at a deep level that when you are in desire and when you are in love, that things come and things materialize and things generate. Sagittarius knows this at a very deep level. And it's important to not get underneath that and fall into this kind of like, I'll work this many hours and I'll budget exactly this way. And it kind of deprives you of your natural essence. So the 3rd week is going to show you that, I think. And feel free, absolutely, to reform or redo anything that you need to take on a more kind of abundant, naturally generated experience as opposed to such a constructed experience, or plan to in the future. Okay, week number 4, you have the 2 of Wands rooted down by 2 of Pentacles. Again, second guessing. You're kind of thinking like, okay, this investment or this career or this degree, whatever it is that you're doing, what does this do for me? How does this work? There's kind of like a reevaluation happening for you. You could also be finding new sources of value in your life that are leading you to second guess. Like, gosh, all this time I could have just done XYZ, but instead I did ZYX, and here we are. And it's confusing. And we don't need to spend so much time in that confusion. You got to really take the blindfold off in the 4th week and let your guard down to the things that are decisive, okay? To the things that are more real for you, okay? And ultimately, yeah, it kind of looks like sobering up to me as well. It kind of looks like April, by the end of April, you're going to be like, okay, now I remember that I'm like a Sagittarius and like my ruling planet is Jupiter and it's in Pisces, and I don't have to go through half the stuff I'm putting myself through right now. Wow. It could be a lot easier. It could be a lot more cut and dry. It could be a lot more simple. And that's where we have a total exposing of a hidden addiction to complexity. Ooh, Sagittarius. And we need to see that if that's what's going on here. Anyway, let's talk more about that in your extended reading, Sagittarius. I will be making you an extended reading on Patreon, central theme, supporting theme cards coming your way. And we'll talk a little bit more about simplifying and enjoying being a Sagittarius, okay, instead of a Virgo. And yeah, the Patreon page is great. I've got weekly tea chats that are only available over there. I've got early ad-free access to these videos, all of them with the one membership. And I definitely recommend it. So it will be linked in the center of your screen and below. Have a wonderful month, Sagittarius. Bye.